Bunny, DRG, RagnaroK, round of 6. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 GSL Season 2.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the GSL. We're going to go on to our final best of 5 for the evening.
Yeah, and this one should be the longest. It is Terran vs. Zerg, so one game can basically be as long as the entire series was that we just got done.
TVZ at this point in time, and especially for GSL, is like by far the longest matchup we have.
Yeah, the metagame has really evolved into Terran sitting there and waiting for Zerg to waste themselves, which takes a long time. It's like a 30-minute game.
Terran trying to just gobble up their side of the map and do kind of, I guess we could call it like an exhaust play, to where the Zerg, has to actually come in and kill them, otherwise it's over. By the way, guys, the finals.
Yes, the Season 2 finals. It is going to be at the Africa Coliseum, which is not here. It's a really big, wonderful studio that we had it in last time.
Yes, it's in a part of town called Digital Media City. The studio is not that close to the station, and it's not that easy to find either. So if you're going to come, I would recommend you try to come a little bit early.
A little bit early, for sure.
I mean, even for some of the days that I've worked down there, I'm like, where am I supposed to be? Do come down and definitely check it out. This is going to be our second finals with an audience. And it's actually a pretty cool setup down there, too. They've got more of like a theater atmosphere there. I quite dig it.
It's in the area's not too bad. Like nearby, there's restaurants and bars and stuff for afterwards, so it's kind of cool. And it is going to be on Friday at the normal time, just to throw that out there, not Thursday.
Yeah, we have moved it. Excuse me, I'm dying here. We have moved it to a time that is probably going to be better for those of you who are living out here, where you can get off work, come down, and basically have the greatest Friday night ever.
Yeah, it's going to be an excellent
Watch
Friday
an
night.
amazing finals.
I can't wait, Tasis. It's going to be ridiculous fun.
This has been a really good season at GSL. We've had a lot of surprises. Yeah. We've had a lot of upsets. We've had a lot of new styles shown, even the ones that Maru lost with back there. But, thinking about Hero as well and some of this other stuff here. So, yeah, definitely come down. And, we look forward to seeing you guys in the audience. So, this is not the match I thought I was going to be casting, Artosis, but here we are.
Certainly not. I definitely thought that Maru would be through in first place, but here he is. Okay, DRG versus Maru. DRG does sometimes show amazing Zerg versus Terran still. Well, here, he's in his second round of 6 in a row, so obviously he's still in good shape, but I think this is his best matchup.
All right, guys, DRG versus Maru, our final best of 5, starts now on Hardwire.
I came for war.
Team NV, DRG. Onside Gaming, Maru.
So, I feel like kind of the big headline of the day, if I can even say it like that, at least for me, was the weird stuff that Maru tried in the TVT. We had 3 very odd, frankly, plays we just never see. Yeah. Pretty much, literally ever. We had EMP tech used, and it was EMP to take the energy away from the medevacs, which, it feels like you would see that argument on a very, buried somewhere in a heated Team Liquid argument. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where it's like 2 guys that actually can't play the game well, and this guy's like, theory crafting is like a thing where people get really caught up in their ideas, and, application of what you can do in the game is also very important. It's not just, what you imagine could happen. We saw that, it didn't work. Then we had double starport Ravens in a TVT. Which, again, I don't think I have ever casted a game like that. If I have, I certainly don't remember it, but I feel like that would stand out to me. And then we had like a Cyclone drop, which isn't the craziest thing, but it's certainly not used.
Super old.
Mag
Super
field
old.
accelerator
Yeah.
upgraded too. It was not to a very great effect. So I know that's a TVT and this is a TVZ, but I just want to kind of remind everybody about that because maybe we're going to see more weird stuff like that here from Maru as we go into this next best of 5.
Now, let's talk about these openers. This is a gas pull first into quick speed into expansion.
Massing more links here.
Yeah, and it's command center first from Maru. So this is very tricky. I mean, he's clearly, like, Maru is just not getting any intel. He's just kind of playing completely blindly here with a very greedy build. But if these lings, like, run up and catch him off guard at all, this is going to be huge.
Yeah, well, if the lings can get on top of that depot and he can't close it, and then this really comes down to, like, your eyes catching this at the last second. I almost feel like it would have been better for him to have waited for speed.
Well, it seems like he was trying to, and then maybe he thought it was, like, done or about to finish, like, in 1 second, but it was in 3 seconds. Okay, he gets 3 SCVs. This is not going according to plan, and this is command center first. So, like, even though you get 3 SCVs there, Maru is happy with his opener.
So he's going to make that third hatch. Who did we see do this earlier this season?
Which build
The
are we talking about?
Massling against command center first. I think it was even on this map.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't recall, honestly. We've seen a lot of command center first this season. It's become much, much more popular.
It's funny, this was a big trend in ASL earlier. But it seems like it's kind of infected. The ideas come in here to GSL as well, which is like, these are not great builds to ladder with because, you know, people can do very random weird things in ladder games, right? But when you're against a pro, if they play very middle of the road and you go like command center first, you're ahead by a lot.
In fact, I mean, even this was a pull first with quick speed, and Maru has to feel good with where he's at. Like, DRG is technically up in drones right now, but there's nothing really wrong with how Maru's playing this.
Yeah, he's looking to be pretty solid here.
I'm surprised he's moving out with 2 Hellions.
Well, I think the idea here is that he wants to show 2 because then you don't see how many more are actually being made. But as I say that, it's not like he's making more Hellions either,
Yeah.
so I don't know what the trick is here.
And 2 won't really stand up against lings.
No, it
Like, I
certainly
understand
won't.
keeping 2 at home defensively, but
Yeah.
well, I guess if you have to keep 2 at home defensively, you may as well send 2 to go scout.
Maybe he's just afraid of a counterattack, so he needs to kind of scout and poke and just be okay if a ling all-in comes in here.
Yeah, I think you're right. 1-1 gets started here for DRG with very good time. I like how greedy DRG's being. Like, it's been pure drone, man. Drone queen.
He's not flinching at all.
Yeah, the 1-1 getting started very quickly. I love it. You want those upgrades as fast as is possible. I really hope he goes Lingbane Muta. I feel like that's DRG's specialty in the matchup.
Yeah.
Very much like the way that he plays it. Macros it really, really well. Good unit movement. Good decision making. There's the layer. Obviously, he does need to get Baneling speed ASAP. A lot of times, the more modern Muta openers go Evos after Muta. So if he does go Muta, it is like a little bit delayed here. I think that would be fine still.
So Maru's going to come out here with a serious push. And notice how much he's hit it. Okay, I was going to say. He has kept this all in the main, so like a poke in, anything, you don't really get a lot of information. You know, if you just keep your army out there, then you can kind of like survey them and see, okay, this looks like it's going to be a pretty powerful 2-base push. It's going to come up here now. Combat Shields is going to finish. He's got the Hellions here, the Marines, the Medevacs, the tanks, all of it. You name it, he's got it. But he's going to look for a target, and there isn't exactly an easy target to hit here either.
That's a big army, though.
It's a big, scary army.
Yeah,
I guess he wants to just try to push up to the third. 1-1 is going to finish, but it's going to finish after the Terran should have already sieged up and been in a pretty good position. So this is like, this is kind of scary, man, to be honest.
It is scary. 3 tanks?
Yeah.
It's
Very well
really
placed.
scary, man. The queens come in. That is a huge amount of queens. Some links coming around for a bit of a flank.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension with that one tank on the right, but I mean, this shelling is brutal, man.
Yeah, he's reduced clean count quite a bit. These spores not really doing a whole hell of a lot.
All right, the counterattack should come, but look where these Hellions are placed, man. This is like a really good spot for them to try to take that on there, too.
Now, can he actually hold on to this position? Can he save that one siege tank?
I think that Zerg might just barely... Oh, never mind. There's way more underneath those metamaps than I realized.
Amazing. Such a different play from Maru. He's been showing almost only turtle play.
Yeah.
And here he is, like, just going very aggressive, 2-base all in after a command center first. He stopped at 44 SCVs. You know?
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Like,
that's a good observation,
he was all in from A to Z.
GG. 1-0. And is that a taste of what is to come? I think DRG, like, I appreciate that he droned hard, but it's like, okay, but like, you know, you could try to play catch-up, but Maru's army's going to be ready first. And Maru really, maybe minus the one tank that was too far to the right of that attack, that was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I even like that tank, honestly, because you're basically forcing the queens to fight nonstop.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, like, yeah, you lose it, but, like, you can't keep everything. It's like, all we are is dust in the wind, man.
All we are. We're all just space dust moving through, I don't know, I got nothing, Artosis.
It's okay.
What are we, skin rocks moving through space is a joke?
Skin rocks.
Skin rocks moving through space, dude. All right, Curious Minds, we're already in the map too. I'm kind of caught off guard by how fast that ended. Think of how many games you see where a Terran on 2 bases kills a Zerg on 3. Actually, not that many.
No, not too many. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But here's Maru utilizing his image very, very well.
Yeah, well done. Game 2 is loaded up, guys. Let's go.
I came for war.
Team NV, DRG. Onside Gaming, Maru.
Yeah, it's I love seeing Maru switch it up like that, because like you just go in playing against Maru right now, kind of assuming that he is going to go for the very, 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 very long game because he's so good at that right now, and then to mix in this kind of very aggressive all-in play, especially when DRG kind of failed like a speedling opener. I think it was good decision making, great execution, and that's a very fast first win, which I think is important because it's not unlikely that we have 3 games that are 20 minutes plus in a row now. You know, that seems, that's what I came in expecting, honestly.
I mean, we've talked about this on camera, but even a little bit off, where it's like, if you have a bunch of TVZs nowadays, it's like, you better have eaten your Wheaties that morning.
Yeah.
They are very long games. Like, as a caster, you definitely got to focus, right? Because it just seems like that's kind of the direction the matchup's gone. PvZ was like that for a while when Sky Toss was trendy.
Oh, yes.
But TVZ does seem to have like this ability to kind of stretch out to a length that is like the very limits of how long a StarCraft 2 game can even go on for.
Because the map gets mined out.
Yeah, eventually you run out of resources.
Yeah.
Nothing can be made. You know, maybe it won't be that long though, Artosis. Honestly, it's important to note that it is weird as the games versus Bunny were the like vast majority, like 95% of Maru's games that we cast are mostly him totally dominating in this matchup. And even though, you know, I think the meta does kind of lean to Terran sort of dragging the game out and doing the exhaust play, which I think is pretty smart. I don't know if DRG is the caliber of Zerg in this matchup against someone like Maru, that has to be the case. Rogue, absolutely. Dark, absolutely.
Okay.
DRG, and I have struggled a little bit in this season, especially with him, to kind of put my finger on where he's at. He's gotten this far for sure. So, you know, he deserves our respect, but is he that kind of Zerg?
Honestly, I think you should be bringing him to the late game against him.
Yeah.
Even though he's like pretty smart and well experienced, I feel like the best part of his game is the mid game. I really do. I think that that's where DRG shines.
Yeah,
like
these kind of battle Zerg
yeah,
plays.
he's good at that. And the thing is, the middle part of the game, the beginning of the game, it's not that hard to not take damage. There's not that many super aggressive builds.
Yeah.
It's the mid game where, like, if you can excel in that as Zerg, you just won't die. And sometimes your opponent will die, but that's what I think you do have to go to longer games against. It looks like we are going to have a Hellion drop coming up. Oh, how many? Yeah. 2 Hellions medevac being made. Loads up his Marines, and here we go. Pretty common opener. Seen this a few times this season already.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to come down here to the bottom. He sees that base over here now. Going to try to draw the eyeballs of DRG up to where these Hellions are. But look at this, DRG's already totally prepared. Double Queens, like, let's go.
Yeah. Things coming in as well. Drops that mine first. Beautiful location.
Oh my god, I thought I was going to hit that drone. Dude, I thought that drone was going down.
That would have been a sick hit for him.
Wow. Here come the Hellions. Queens are, again, already in position. 1 drone. The casualty of that.
Doesn't seem like Maru's going to really find any damage.
Dude, basically no damage besides that drone. It's just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Poor little guy.
Poor guy. Yeah, but I mean, this was a great play here. Back at home for Maru, he's getting stim, he's getting more barracks. We don't have a 3rd CC yet, although I don't think we'd have a 2-base timing push necessarily. I mean, we're going to know soon, because it's either going to be more barracks or it's gonna...
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think it would make sense. The whole reason why that 2-base push worked in the last game, guys, is because he went for CC first. Which
yeah,
sort of gives
CC
you a
first,
head
and
start.
it was like a failed Ling Rush, right? So like that slowed the
too.
production and economy of DRG at least some. So here's the 1-1 again from DRG.
And this is just to clean up creep here. The Raven, you know, he can use that to spot the creep tumors and still land mules back at home.
I always do like when people go for Raven Hellion to clean up the creep. I really like that. I feel like if I was a StarCraft 2 Terran, I'd do that all the time.
Okay, he comes in again. And gets these picks backs out.
Another medevac coming out with Marines.
Okay. Yeah, very patient game. By the way, we still don't have that CC.
He is doing
the 2-base. Yeah, we both saw it at the same time. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glancing at the production tab, like 7 Marines and no SCVs, you say.
I don't see a command center. He stops at 48, so it's a different type of timing attack. This one should not have the same kind of oomph as the other one before, and I think this one's intended to hit the 4th base hatchery as it's making.
Yeah.
I almost said as it's cooking. What was that about? This is cooking up, man.
Yeah, put a drone in the oven, man, and out comes a hatchery.
Yeah. A watched hatchery never boils our toast. Now, here comes the real push. He needs to get up onto this high ground. Where the creep tumors are is where he wants his army to be. So it's extremely important that DRG push this up here. Now, this location is looking less ideal when we see this actual other base being made over here. Oh man, the surround on the tanks is big. But at the same time, the tanks go down and it leaves this sort of unwieldy amount of infantry that kind of just kill everything anyways. This isn't normally how we see games end, but it could be how this one slowly comes to a closer here. Well, the Banelings connect there. Never mind.
The Banelings give DRG possibly a 2nd life here. He was very close to death.
It was a funny moment because so often it's, you know, if the tanks go down after the Lings and Banes and Queens have hacked their way through the Marines, that's going to be one thing. But because he got so much there, a lot of damage was dealt before those Banes could connect. Now, I don't know exactly where that puts Maru now. Keep in mind that, you know, really a Terran can't be on two bases for too much longer. Certainly not unless they're flattening these other bases.
Well, I think DRG is in a good position here to win this game. Maru is continuing forward. 1-1 is done for DRG, and Baneling's speed is almost done. So if he just masses up army right now, like, he needs to clear the push like 1 more time.
Yeah. Now, I think if he could just kind of shake Maru off, Maru's grasp on this position, I think that, you know, he's going to be okay. Again, you're seeing why creep is so important right here. Look at that, dude. Picks him up. So good.
That 4th base is up. It looks like Maru's going to hit it.
I don't know that he has enough, man. I think a lot of
his
this goes
army's
back
really
to
small.
Well, hold on. It's kind of disjointed, but I feel like if he can kind of pull it all together, he's going to be okay. Zerg can't really operate without a fourth base. And again, on the creep.
Great targeting here from the siege tanks. Dealing with the banelings as well as he really can. Great splits.
All right, he's killing it, man. He's actually going to get that hatchery. That's it. He gets the hatchery. Now, the game's not necessarily over, but, like, this kind of knocks Zerg back into square one, right? Now, Zerg is already growing into the opposite part of the map here, down at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, DRG just trying to get that fourth base up and actually mining, so it's 2 against 4. Quite a few Liberators. Kind of an interesting twist on this that I'm not used to seeing. The 2-2 is going to be finishing for DRG relatively soon, so that's a pretty big advantage, being up 2 upgrades. Not there quite yet, though. The Baneling's rolling through.
Dude, there's such a force behind these tanks.
Oh, my God.
Dude, he's just going to walk over him, I think. I mean, he's crushing through. The hatchery's canceled. A save, I guess, but, you know, certainly not an answer to the threats that are coming forward here now. Liberators and tanks. And you know what, man? Just not enough queens.
These early all-ins from Maru doing a fantastic job against DRG.
He's going to get this hatchery, too. Wow, dude. Maru's making this look like so easy. It's so not the series we kind of anticipated, Artosis.
Did he just attack his own siege tank, the really red one?
I was looking at you, I didn't see.
Oh.
I was looking at your doe eyes.
Then you saw the shock where
That's
I'm
right.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I just saw an explosion. There's what?
Now, I mean, you know, without Banes here, it's kind of hard. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I thought there were no Banes at all. But, you know, his Liberators stay here.
Liberators just shredding everything.
Dude, just wrecking
This
Banes.
game's done.
It's over. GG. Maru. Maru.
He's playing completely different today than he has throughout the tournament.
Well, keep in mind, you know, Maru is the guy who plays to win the whole thing. And what other Zerg is in this tournament? It's Dark. I think that's the big threat for Maru. Hero, Hero should be respected as a threat, but I think what Maru's doing is he's bringing out his kind of tier 2 builds for tournament play. He's like, all right, we're going to do this because I don't need Dark to see what I'm doing. Dark doesn't lose to that, by the way.
Oh, no, I
do not think Dark loses to that.
I don't think so either.
Unless I really, I mean, I don't think Dark loses to that.
I almost want to be a dummy and be like, you know what? He threw against Bunny so he could show Dark the wrong builds.
We're going to go to 2,000 atmospheres here. And right now, I'm kind of thinking we're going to see a lot of the same ideas here. Does Maru do a proxy Rex? Let's not forget he likes to do that in the series.
God, I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't... The fact that he did, like, very similar 2-base all-ins against DRG twice in a row, and his series against Bunny, I don't know what's going on.
Well, let's find out, Artosis. Game 3 has loaded up. Maru right now with a 2-0 lead in this best of 5.
I came for war.
Team NV, DRG. Onside Gaming, Maru.
Okay, so let's see what Maru's going to give us. It's funny how some games and series can pan out. Like, the truth is, if you look at the way this has gone, we actually don't even really know what DRG like wants to do. You know what I mean? It's basically been like
he wants to get 1-1. We know that much.
He's getting his building blocks out. You know, he's trying to. You know, he's going to show us something later on. But basically, Maru comes and kicks down all the blocks before they can get started up, which is a perfectly viable way to play. But it doesn't really
it's
give us
a bratty way to play. But yeah,
it doesn't give us a lot of insight into how DRG is looking at the matchup, because he's trying to get this set up, and then Maru's like, we're ending this. We're ending this right now. And yeah, I mean, so far not working. Let's go back a little bit though to game 2.
Okay.
That first big push. There was something very funny that we almost never see, even though we see tank, marine, medevac fights over like third bases and fourth bases. Like we see that all the time. That's probably the most common thing you ever see in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
And it's always been there since the beginning. But rarely do we have a moment where the Lings get such a huge engage on just the tanks.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I saw it happen first and I thought, well, that's it. Because normally when the tanks go down, then the fight is probably ending. The Zerg is won. You know,
But the tanks never go down before the Marines.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to get at. Normally, you always have to try to push the Marines back with Banes, and then eventually the Queens and some of the Lings will hit the tanks. You usually don't want the Banelings to hit the tanks because it's better to use them on the Marines. But that was a funny game because the tanks got surrounded, and it actually backfired because the tanks ended up soaking up all the damage.
Yeah.
So that when it was done,
There was no Lings left.
there was this ridiculous amount of units. You suddenly saw the Queens like turn their backs and try to run as fast as possible because there's just nothing that that they can do in that moment. Now, luckily for DRG, he got some good Baneling connections, and Maru kind of, in one of the rare moments we see from him, kind of messed up in his micro. But that's just kind of a funny thing to see go down there that we don't really get to think about or even talk about it.
A great example of why you don't just right-click on the tanks, right? Like it takes so long to kill, and they're sitting there with their high health armor, and then suddenly, you know, the Marines are just the DPS is too high. So a mistake was made. And Maru has won twice with very, very similar pushes. Is he going to do it again, do you think? Now's the time. Tell me.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do think.
Once
he's
again,
gonna
like a 3-ish tank type of push.
Yeah, I think actually that's what he's going to do.
It looks like right now he's gearing, because he's opening different every game, right? It was Command Center first with just a couple Hellions. Then the second game was like a small Marine drop with 1 mine, a few Hellions, a Raven to clear creep. Here it's a 2-1-1 opener, but I think all these builds can go into that same thing, right?
Yeah.
So he's definitely having a variety as far as openers go. See if this 2-1-1 can do anything against DRG.
I mean, again, it's beating DRG is of course a necessary thing for him to advance in the tournament, right? But I do want to go back to my whole theory that, you know, a guy like Maru who's won so many GSLs, he has to really kind of see the entire tournament and what he needs to worry about. And so I think that's why he's doing this. I think that in some sense, Maru is kind of like just a stronger overall player than DRG.
Yeah,
like on all the metrics.
Of course, yeah.
And so it's like,
I think
even
Maru
if
wins on all the metrics against everyone in the world, probably.
yeah, kind of, man. And so I think he just looks at this and he's like, well, this won't tell Dark anything. And also, you know, this is not going to be easy for DRG to deal with. And it's the same idea again. Does he have tanks with this, though?
No, well, it's the 2-on-1 to open, right? Like the quicker stim 2 medevacs.
There's like literally no tanks in the game. I'm like, and there's
There
Liberators.
will be, though.
Where is Liberators, Certosis? I don't understand what's going on.
We don't know if he'll do that again.
He needs a Thor against those mutas that aren't here yet.
I like that, though, actually. The Liberators were pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good touch.
Yeah. All right, doesn't seem like he's going to find anything there. Going to boost towards that main base. There's a Spore waiting. Enough to turn him around. Tasteless. Already has CV count.
Uh-oh.
Notice
45.
how it's sitting there at 45 for more than the amount of time it takes to make an SCV. Oh, 47. Okay.
I've been hurt before, Artosis. Be careful.
I'm going to calm down. See if he ever hits that 50 Tasteless. 50 heralds of third base.
Well, he's trying to look for an opening to push this. There is a base being grown into it at 6 o'clock for Zerg. And a play from the Bunny page book. Tucks those 2 tanks in there. And again, this might look like it's not a big deal, guys, but it does hide that you're committing to an area. I mean, it's pretty common now, but for a while it was only Bunny that did this, and it was like, they can just look at this as continuous roaming, and then suddenly, bam, tanks are here, let's set up shop.
Exactly. All right, Maru's stimming forward, getting rid of some of this creep, gonna force a cancel here instantaneously. Still not showing the tanks yet.
Ling counter attack. Oh, I think the tank's on top of the depot. Yeah, he can't lift it up. Yeah. But the attack's on anyways.
Dealing some decent damage there to those queens. A couple of them almost being picked off already.
Yeah. Mainly speed is not done yet. These tanks are in a pretty comfortable spot. More reinforcements are coming. Lings are going to go down, but as many SCVs as were killed here, you have to remember that the army, for the most part, has already been paid for Maru. I mean,
well, he's certainly got a strong army, but if you're losing 12 SCVs at home, and DRG's waiting for that Baneling speed, let's see if he can hold.
dude, great clicks there. And I mean, he's going to get the last tank.
Yeah, and the 3 Banelings coming are...
It's just not enough. Oh, and there's Bane's warping up here
God.
too. Oh, God.
I think he is going to hold. Yeah, there you go. The Marines were just getting a little bit too low there. Reinforcements coming up. Can Maru continue this push?
Okay.
They're going to get in on top of these Banelings, picking a couple off immediately. The Queen's starting to fall.
I could be wrong, but this seems like it is kind of doable right now for DRG if he just plays really, really well. He's got to be less cavalier with these Baneling morphs. Every Baneling, you just need one of them to get the big connection to win the fight, right? The fact that we've seen like 5 or 6 get canceled there is kind of crazy.
All right, more Banelings coming with those Lings, pushing back these reinforcements. The tank sets up, trying to slow this down, gets
Good
a decent
idea.
tank volley.
Kind of drops on that bridge because
Yeah.
it's enough of like a kind of narrow area. The Banes can't really be utilized.
By the way, Muta's being made. That's pretty darn good for DRG. Those Mutas are going to be a problem. They might not be as helpful right now against the push, but if he can get any sort of counter harassment or any slightly winning position in one of these battles, it's going to make a big difference if there's a liftoff. Okay, actually picking off some of these Mutas now. Oh my God, Maru breaking
Dude,
through.
actually, this is kind of crazy. I almost just stopped casting entirely. I was like in shock right there. And now he's going to get the cancel on these Banes. Dude, I think this little tug of war we're seeing, Maru's going to win. GG!
Crazy.
Whoa!
That was the fastest match of the night.
Dude, that's insane. How long was that whole series?
That was like nothing at all.
I was ready for like 2.5 hours of casting, man.
I was thinking this match would be almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
Easily.
very, very fast. Maru being unbelievably aggressive. DRG giving it a laugh.
Hey, it was a fun series. But you know, Maru is just built different, man. He really is. And so that will conclude the round of 6, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this. And up next is the round of 4.
All right. Yeah, and it's a sick round of 4 as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like Bunny, Maru, Dark, and Hero. Very different from last season.
Very cool.
Except for Dark, of course.
So we're going to go to that interview now. Let's see how Maru's feeling. He is just 3-0 DRG in like a record fashion.
The last player to move on to round of 4 of this season of GSL is Maru. Congratulations. Thank you. Maru, this is your 12th finals in GSL. But it has been your GSL round of 4 after 4 seasons. Well, here today, I came here with the thought that I would not lose to Bunny in the TVT, but I did lose. Alright, so let's talk about why your performance was like that afterwards. So DRG was the player you lost to in the round of 10. And today you gained a 3-0 victory over him. So what was different this time compared to back then? Well, today I wanted to play aggressively. I used a lot of aggressive tactics. I think they worked out well for me today. I mean, yes, your decision making has been fantastic today against DRG. Alright, so let's talk about the TVT match now. Wow, Maru losing a TVT match. This is quite rare to see. So every game was very neck and neck, and Bunny was like biting the bullet. He was trying really hard against you. So how was the TVT? like overall?
의료선에만 안 흔들렸으면 다 이길 수 있었던
You know, I was too
게임이었는데
you know, I was too shaken with the Medivacs.
게임하면서 생각이 안 나더라고요.
You know, but I
그래서
couldn't think of that while playing.
그 유령 운영을 제대로 못 보여드린 점도 너무 아쉽고.
I think I was not able to show the potential of the Ghost well in that match. So you know, that was a very disappointing match for me. It was very frustrating. I mean, that's right. I mean, we're quite curious about why you use Ghost, and you're quite using the Ghost quite frequently in those maps, in Cosmic Sapphire as well. So we were wondering if you had any special reason as to why you use the Ghost so much. So what was that Ghost build about?
요즘 태태전의 끝은 밤까마귀라고 생각하는데.
Well, I feel like the TVT end game is all about Raven, and countering Raven is what Ghost does.
방송 때 되니까 확실히 다른 것 같아요.
But you know, playing on stage is completely different, I can say. Maybe we'll see more enhanced Ghost build in the later matches, Maru. Alright, so let's talk about outside the game. I mean, Maru, you've been having COVID for a couple weeks now, so how's it going right now?
기침하는 거 말고는 다 괜찮은 것
I mean,
같고
apart from the coughs, you know, everything's
살만한 것 같아요, 이제.
okay, and now it's not too bad now. So how was practice with COVID?
걸렸을 때는 좀 많이 못했는데.
I mean, when I just caught COVID, practice was quite hard, but now it's not too hard to practice. So your opponent will be the finalist of DreamHack Valencia, and he was the champion eventually. It is Dark. So he's been showing great performance. He's been on a good momentum right now. So he's gonna be a fierce opponent to play against. So how are you feeling? You know, to be honest, I thought I wouldn't meet him because I thought I was get out group as the #1. But you know, eventually I gotta play him. But I think, you know, I think it's not too bad.
조성주 선수가. 그 10강이요? 저는 근데 컨디션이 너무 안 좋았어.
So in the round of 10, you know, my condition was bad. I was not feeling well. I mean, DRG also, but
아쉽네요. 한 판만 땄어도.
you know, a very disappointing day for me that day. So this match against DRG, the round of 4, is gonna be like a final caliber match for sure. So before you go, anything you want to say?
다른 사람 만나고 싶었는데 너무.
I did want to meet another player, but it's a shame I gotta play against Dark. I'm gonna make sword preparation and try to deliver a good performance against him. Well, you're one step away from achieving the G5L, Maru. So thank you for the interview, Maru. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Andy, and congratulations to Maru. So this leaves us with the final 4 for the GSL.
Yeah. Tonight, of course, Bunny was the first winner, getting out 3-1 over Maru. Very fast matches, all of them.
Yeah, well, the TVT was kind of long, which I thought the TVT was going to be actually the shorter one today.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought that last match was going to be very long, but Maru just rushing, keeping
like
the pressure
we finished
on.
that whole thing in like 40 minutes or something, maybe even less time than that. Yeah, well, look, Maru now moves on, survives that easily again.
I think everyone did want to see Maru in the round of 4, right?
Of course. And so this is such a good final 4.
Yeah.
So these are both going to be best of 5s, guys. It's Hero versus Bunny, and then Dark versus Maru. And there's a lot of very interesting finals we could have here. I do think Hero is favored versus Bunny. Dark, Maru, maybe Dark, you know, by a couple percentage points, but that's going to be a close one for sure.
Honestly, I think Bunny. I look at Bunny against Hero the same way I look Dark versus Maru, where I actually think Bunny is really good.
Yeah.
TVP. I could see him taking down Hero, but both these matches are very close.
I guess the Dream Finals would probably be a Hero versus Dark, maybe? Is that the best we could ask for?
I think technically Maru Hero would be better because G5L is on the line.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
We're
going to dust off the trophy.
That would be amazing if he's able to
How
actually
long will
take that.
GSL go for, and are we ever going to get rid of that? Because if not, I'm breaking in here in the middle of the night, and I'm taking that one home and putting it on my bookshelf.
I think they'll know when they see it.
It's
Tasteless
too
in the back
late.
of your stream.
If it's already done, I'll be like, no, this is an invitation. Well, this was a fun day of games. Sorry it didn't go on for longer. How long was today?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Only 3 hours. But an interesting 3 hours. We're going to be back on Thursday with that round of 4. It's going to be amazing. And don't forget that it's not going to be next Thursday, but next Friday. That we have the finals.
Friday at the, is it Sangam Coliseum? Is that what we call it? in Digital Media City. Again, not that easy to find. Show up early, and it's at 6:30. I know our finals normally start earlier. Like Artosa said, it's been moved a little bit later, so it's more convenient for people who actually are working or in school or whatever to get down there. And I think no matter how you cut it, we've got a pretty good finals. No matter who gets through.
Yeah. Even Bunny Maru would be good. I would say
Sure.
that that's the weakest one, obviously, because it's a mirror matchup. But every finals is a solid one.
Yeah. So be there. You don't want to miss it.
And think about this, right?
Yeah.
Bunny, possible first time. Dark, possible third time, which would make him the third biggest GSL Zerg ever.
Right.
After Rogan and ST. Maru, possible fifth GSL. And Hero
Which
would
would
be
just
the
be
first.
record-shattering.
Yeah, and Hero would be the first Protoss champion in 5 years.
People forget this. I feel like it's actually not talked about enough. We do not have Protoss champions. Not for 5 years. That's insane.
The last one was Stats.
Yeah. SOS never won a GSL.
SOS never won a GSL.
They never won a
Think
GSL.
about
We had
that.
some great Protosses, but they did not win this tournament.
Yeah.
But maybe Hero does it. And honestly, I think Hero is giving the most exciting play out of everybody.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of crazy the way that he's making Zerg look like a very manageable race. He's got a lot of cool ideas against Terran, and there's no other Protosses left, so we don't care about that matchup anymore.
I want to see him in the finals personally. Like
Me too.
As happy as I am for Bunny, let's see Hero go.
Yeah. Guys, that's all the time we have. We love you. We'll see you on Thursday for the Final Four, and then Friday, a week later, right? Friday? Yeah, for the finals.
Yes.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Go! 2022 GSL Season 2.